Can you go from an insecure attachment style to a secure attachment style? In brief, yes. Please do one on your transition from anxious to secure. Now, because I've managed to take 8 people, was it 9, to the same place I'm at, where I have and they seem to have an earned secure attachment style, I don't have to talk about my own personal journey. I can talk more in terms of a process. Don't forget, this type of healing was because of brain spotting and parts work. That's like, internal family systems, i.e. working with sub-personalities that are protecting us from attachment wounds. So this is the usual trajectory. Someone comes to therapy, they're very dysregulated, very, very dysregulated. They don't know who they are anymore. And quite often they can't stop thinking about this person. They yearn for them, and at the same time they're very afraid of them and they hate them. And most commonly their attachment style is an anxious one. This person is very externally focused. They're focused almost exclusively on the narcissist and who they are and how awful they are and how wonderful they are and how this confuses them and, that sort of thing. It's all very the same. Everyone's symptoms, everyone's abuse, the way that it affects people, it's very, very similar. But not everyone has a trauma bond. That's for another video. Anyway, it's not long before most people discover that their body, their system can generate peace on its own through the brain spotting process. Now, people with an insecure attachment style are going to have what's called an external locus of evaluation mostly. And that means that they're looking outside for validation, for help, for love. And yes, so is a narcissist, but they're on a different level. Let's take them out of the conversation for now. These people are just looking for ideal love, that's it. They want to be with someone, they like being in relationships. It makes them feel good, they feel lonely if they're not in a relationship. And they had no idea where this was going to lead with this person. The idea that love is outside of us is something that we're sold, okay? Shakespeare argued against that kind of thing in a way, but we won't get into that. But Hollywood loves to sell that and is still doing that right now. The idea that there's a soulmate out there for everybody, and when you find them, you're going to feel complete. But now, these people in sessions are regularly finding that peace is being generated from inside. From inside, not coming from the outside, from inside. Shall I say it again? From inside. Anyway, the more attachment wounds that are healed, the more this peace starts to stabilize and hang around. And it's not always that long. It's under a year for most people. And they start to notice this. Week to week, they're coming to sessions and they're just feeling good. And sometimes they come to the sessions, they're feeling so good, they don't know what to talk about. So there can be some sort of cleaning up that goes on. One of the things we can do in brain spotting is called expansion spot. So if they can't feel anything negative to work on, then we can enter what's called post-traumatic growth. And we can start working on the idea of maybe there's some emotions that they haven't felt in a while that they'd like to feel more of, or maybe emotions they are feeling now, but they still want to feel more of. It works in pretty much the same as every brain spotting session. It's just where they feel that in the body. We talk about a good experience, it comes up, we find the brain spot, and sometimes they'll get a bit teary because there'll be some stuff that's kind of between them, blocking their path to that emotion, making it harder for them to feel it, and that all gets cleared out. So now you've got a person who once thought that what they needed to make themselves feel complete was outside, and that it was another person. Actually, it's inside, and the only person that they really needed was themselves, because their body is producing this peace, it's generating itself. So it's no longer a question of them needing love. In fact, it's unhealthy, really. When you get to this point, you realize it's unhealthy to need love, to need to be dating. That's a sign of insecurity. Sorry if that stings. This is a slow dawning, but everyone so far has got to that point where they just realize they not only don't want anything to do with the narcissist, and they never want anything to do with them ever again, and how irrelevant they see them. It's not just that, it's that they no longer need therapy of any kind anymore, and they no longer need to have a partner in their life. And sometimes they will express a little bit of worry because this feels so good just being yourself, that, you know, we're not spring chickens anymore, and it might be nice to actually have someone around and some companionship at some point. But it's just hoping that maybe there's some kind of reason why we'd want it. Because I know, I don't right now. I very rarely get lonely. That's no lie. I very, very rarely get lonely. And although I have clients, and although I do these TikTok videos, I still spend a hell of a lot of time alone. But let's go a little bit further. This is a long video. The idea of it actually being an earned secure attachment style that I have now, I'll only truly know if or when I get into a relationship with someone else. And yeah, if she's someone who continues to be someone who likes a lot of conflict and crossing boundaries, the same sort of thing, particularly if she won't listen and try to sort of compromise and work out why it is that we're having that conflict and whose needs aren't being met, and how we can learn to meet each other's needs so that, you know, in the future that doesn't happen again, and how we can improve our communication. If none of that is of interest to her, the fact that I'm so okay with my own company and don't need anyone, it's going to make it so much easier for me to just say, look, I'm not doing this, I'm going to leave, and that's it, and stick to my guns. The peace that I fought for in therapy is just way too precious. And so, no, I won't be putting up with things like that. And life's too short. And they can find someone else, you know? It's not the end of the world just because someone leaves you. I know it feels like that. That's how I thought it was, particularly after, you know, a narcissist discarding me. But actually, you know, there's life beyond, and there's forms of therapy now that can completely and utterly change your life. And I'm so grateful I found them. Anyway, this is a really long video. Hope it helps. Bye for now.